Appreciate you always making time for us on Thursday. We're going to get into more some transfer portal news for Arkansas coming up. But this news yesterday, I think, was kind of earth-shattering for Arkansas football fans, seeing Joe's name enter the portal. You're about as well connected with anyone with current prospects and guys that are already on campus. Any news, any updates, or is the coaching staff trying to recruit him back to campus, or is this all but done seeing him go elsewhere?
I tend to think he's going elsewhere, but I don't know that for a fact. I've heard several different things, but nothing, solid enough to say this is the reason why. This is college football today. Guys, for whatever reason, can enter their name in the portal and see what happens, but. It's somewhat surprising.
I wonder, from your perspective, Richard, when you saw this news and seeing what Arkansas had right now, I thought the secondary was kind of the strength of their defense. And now with Joe leaving, do you anticipate them trying to go somewhere in the portal and getting a safety or an additional secondary player? Do you think that's an extra level of emphasis now with Joe out the door?
Yeah, I tend to think so, and I think they were looking in that direction anyway. Maybe as a corner, but now maybe a little bit more as a guy that could do both, or just a safety. So, the portal taketh away, and it can add us too. So it works both ways.
Yeah, it sure does. It's just another reminder of something we know, but I think comes to the forefront right here is recruiting never stops. I mean, you recruit them from 8th or 9th grade on, building the relationship. You get them to campus, and now the reality is, in today's rules, today's world, the recruiting process with a player it never stops, does it, Richard?
No, and I tell you what, I don't care what any of the coaches say, and don't get me wrong, it's different. Different coaches have different philosophies and have a different tolerance, but I can't imagine just recruiting in general is 24/7 basically, and then you add, because of the portal, like you said, having to stay on top and recruit the guys that are even still on campus. Add that to your plate. Yep, it's kind of mind-boggling, and I've talked to several coaches that have gone to the NFL, and one of the reasons why they went to the NFL was because of the constant recruiting, and that was before the portal.
And it can get exhausting, and I just wonder, we're seeing in basketball, Coach K's getting out after this year. Roy Williams got out last year, and you wonder how much the environment with the transfer portal and the NIL led some of the bigger legends of current time to that decision. If in football, could you see a Saban, or could you see some of the more high-profile names say, you know what, I've got plenty of money, I don't like this new set of problems I'm dealing with. I think you could see some coaches leave the game sooner than they would probably had under the old way of doing it. Do you think this will drive some of the more veteran coaches out of the game at some point?
I think it could. I mean, especially it adds to the frustration of things. If you have a few, subpar years, and you kind of look at it and analyze it and think, some of it has to do with all this NIL stuff and portal stuff. And I mean, none of this is going away. I mean, this change is here, and it's here to stay. So it's you either have a choice to adapt or maybe get out early, and I could see it driving some coaches out. And then even some of the younger coaches that are in college football now, how long before it starts to wear on them, and they start thinking, man, I don't know if and obviously the money's very good, and that keeps a lot of people still in the game. But also it could also kind of make some look at that NFL a little bit more.
And I think you may also see, for that handful of five-star type players in football or even in basketball, forget the early signing period. They're going to make these schools kind of outbid each other to the final hour, maybe down to the 2 or 3 schools they want. And why sign early? Push everybody to the deadline. Why commit early? Push them to the deadline because as we've seen some reports with A&M and other schools, that the closer to the deadline, the more desperate they get to have you, the more the boosters seem to come up with. So you hate to think it's turned into going to the highest bidder, but I think you're going to see more and more of these elite guys probably not commit early and wait till the final minute to do it.
I think you got a point, and and I know some people look at younger people, look at some of the older people, and go, "Man, times change. You got to get with it." I was even talking to a younger person yesterday who thinks it's running the game. NIL is running the game. Whether it is or not, we don't know. I think 3, 5, 10 years from now, we'll be able to look back on it with a little bit more educated thought process. But right now, I mean, some of the reports you see, it is you have to be concerned about the game.
Richard Davenport talking a little recruiting with us here on the Morning Rush. So, Richard, you brought up a statement. You didn't add on what the full statement is. Basically, I've heard people say over the years, adapt or die. And Arkansas could be in a situation with this whole change of philosophies within recruiting that they have to adapt. And I think we've seen it a little bit with Arkansas getting flagship going. It was either the first or one of the first, if I remember that correctly. But I ask you this, what does Arkansas need to improve on when it comes to NIL? People may not like it, but they like winning football teams. And if you're not heavily focused in this right now, you're going to get left at the curb.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of hard. I see some of the reports of other teams, and it's kind of hard to know, exactly how the vast majority of other teams are doing. And I'm sure they're probably a lot like Arkansas. I know several guys on the football team are doing very well, and I don't know if they tell recruits or are willing to tell recruits and families how well they're doing, but that could be a selling point. Obviously, you want the business community to kind of come on board as much as possible, but I'm not sure Arkansas is totally behind the curve. I'm not saying they're ahead, but I was talking to a source, and the source is pretty well connected, and thinks that it had an educated guess of about 40 to 50 guys on the team have NIL deals. Obviously, you have some that are top tier, then some below that, and some getting gift cards or something like that. I get that, but there's maybe a few more guys on the team doing pretty good than what maybe people think. Now, are they doing as well as maybe some of the other places where you're seeing some of this stuff come out about some of the deals that are being made? I can't say that, but that's just something. I think this is an evolving situation where schools are evaluating their situation with NIL with the business community and trying to come up with solutions.
We're talking about Arkansas recruiting-wise, and one of the guys that I was asking you about yesterday was Jackson Player. I think it's the Tulsa defensive lineman. Can you kind of share an update on Player and kind of where he stands right now? I think he's got Arkansas in his top 5.
Yeah, like you said, he's got Arkansas in his top 5 along with OSU, TCU, and Baylor. He told me yesterday that he's going to be making an official visit January the 14th, 16th. The dead period ends the 13th, so his first official visit to Arkansas. Obviously, Coach Ashley, the defensive line coach at Arkansas, recruited him and coached him at Tulsa. So that pre-existing relationship is a big plus for Arkansas, and I think it's very promising that he's taking his first official to Arkansas, and hey, it's somewhat of an easy sell to me if you're saying, hey, look at the 3 guys that started on the defensive line last year were guys that came from the portal. You could be next. I mean, that's a pretty impressive thing to throw out to him, along with other things the program could sell.
Richard, appreciate it as always, man. By the way, it is National Bean Day, so I don't know if you're going to have some beans and bread or chili.
Baby, pill,
you can go all over the place. I know you like food, man, so have some beans today.
Yeah.
Just not around the wife.
Glad you told me that because I've been wondering when's National Bean Day coming up, and I'll be darned if it's not today.
I thought it was a week from today. That's what I had on my. I guess I was.
We got to get this communication down a little bit better.
People
I'm not
mix
gonna lie
up.
to you. National Bean Day is the day that I've been waiting on all year. Now I'm kind of unprepared.
Yeah, it needs to follow National Cornbread Day yesterday. You know that's what we need: beans and cornbread. So.
There you go. Come on, man, pick it up, big guy.
I need to give better heads up on that. But enjoy some of those pinto beans later on, RD.
All right, buddy. We'll see you.
All right, Richard Davenport with us here. Recruiting Thursday on the Morning Rush.
Has you covered for all the holiday season. More props, odds, and lines than ever before. BetOnline remains your number one spot for all sports action. Head to our new updated desktop or mobile website to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus with the promo code BELIEVE to receive your bonus. That's BLEAV to receive your bonus. And it's not just football. BetOnline has pro and college hoops, NHL, boxing, UFC, even your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of all these amazing offers available for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports.